Good evening, 4-3. Tonight we're going to be doing Lesson 3. Name numbers within 1 million by building understanding of the place value chart and placement of commas for naming base thousand units. Okay, well this is going to be the place value chart that we're going to be memorizing and you'll be having to create on your own. And notice that we added one here, the millions column. So that's where we're going to be focusing on tonight. Notice in the place value chart, the ones is only stated once. But if you look on the tens, the hundreds, the thousands, then 10 is getting repeated. And then 100 is getting repeated. And if we went on further after the millions, there would be 10 million, 100 million, and so forth. All right, well, let's look at this problem right here. 5,000 plus 7,000s. Now, let's try, we're going to put in 5,000s into our chart, into our place value chart. And notice I have the purple discs, 5 purple discs to represent the 5,000s in this column. And then we need to put in 7,000s. So I put that in a different color. I put that in blue to model 7,000s for that problem, for the expression. So now remember that we can bundle up tens. Anytime we see a group of 10, we're going to bundle it up. And now that we can exchange for and cash in over here, and this, all of this represents one 10,000. So, and in the thousands column, we are ending it up with 2. So if we wanted to make and create this layout, what this number is going to look like, we see 1 10,000s. We're left over here with 2 thousands right there. And we do not have any hundreds, tens, or ones. So we would put zeros in there. So 5,000s plus 7,000s is, and we want this in the standard form, 1, 2, 0, 0, 0. But remember, we need to focus on the column every time that we see after 3 numbers. 1, 2, 3, comma. So it's 12,000. For our next problem, 2,000s plus 1,200s is equal to. All right, so let's start putting the discs into the proper column. 2,000s. So I'm going to put 2 discs there. And we've got hundreds, so we're going to put 12 in the hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Now, notice, like we did in the last problem, anytime that we have 10 discs all together in one column, we can bundle them up and cash them in to the thousands, to the left, the column right left to where we're at, and we can give 1 dot, because that represents 1,000. So now if we wanted to put our number in standard form, what would that look like? Well, we have 3,000, we have 200s, and we do not have any tens or ones. So 2,000 plus 1,200s is equal to 3, 2, 0, 0. Let's look, be careful of our comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. So it's equal to 3,200. All right, well, we have another problem here. 4 10,000s, 4,000s times 10. Now we're going to use our place value chart, and we're going to model this. And I'm going to put our place value discs. I'm going to put 4 in the 10,000s. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 place value discs in the thousands. 3, 4. Now, because each of these dots, they're representing we have to put 4, because it's 40 10,000s. So we would make just a line underneath. This is a shortcut. Just to represent each one of those is 10. Do it again. Each one of these is 10. So I'm just, instead of just drawing out individual dots, this would be quicker. So anytime we have 10, a grouping of 10, that becomes 100,000. So I'm going to put a dot here, and then another one, dot here, and another one here, and lastly there. But now we got to extend this, because now we've got to move our thousands into the 10,000s. So because we have 40 thousands, because this is 10, let's move it over. One, another one, over, third one, over, and the last. All right, so now we're able to create our new number of what this looks like. So in our 100,000 spot, we've got a 4. In our 10,000 spot, we have a 4. But we have nothing else. We have no thousands. We don't have any hundreds or tens or ones. So we can go up here and write it in. 4, 4, and 4 zeros. Now let's appropriately place the comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. This is equal to 440,000. 440,000. That's the standard form. So if we look at the second question, how many thousands are in the answer? That's where we would just look at where we see the first comma, because that's representing 1,000 right there. So we would put in 440. 440. That's how many thousands there are, is 440. We could write on next to it 440. We would write 440 thousands. I just want you to understand that when we're doing this place value and we're multiplying by 10, all we're doing every time we just multiply by 10 is we're just taking that digit and moving it over to the next column, to the left of it. So this one times 10 would go over here. This one times 10 times 0 would go over here. 10 times 0 would move over to this column, and this one over here. So every time we're doing that, we're just moving over 1 to the left, which represents multiplying that number, that digit, by 10. Okay, now we're going to model 27,305 ones and multiply that by 10. So we need to model this. So what we're going to do, I could see that this is going to be pretty fair for me because I see 5 ones. So I'm just going to put 5 place value discs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 3 hundredths. That's pretty good. Just put 3 discs in the hundredths column. The one that's going to get tricky, because I can't imagine us putting out 27 discs. So just like I did earlier in the lesson, just make those lines to represent 10. So let's go in the thousands, and this represents 110, 110, just to make it quick and fast, and we're left with 7 left over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now we have just modeled the number that we've been given. We haven't even multiplied by 10 yet. But I noticed, remember in the earlier lessons, anytime we have a group of 10, we bundle them together. And each bundle, we cash them in, and we can get 1 for that. So 1 10,000 and another 10,000. So now what number do we have right now? If we look at this all together, what kind of number are we looking at? We're looking at 2 in the 10,000s, 7 in the thousands, 3 in the hundreds, nothing in the tens, and we've got 5 ones. So we have 27,305, but we haven't multiplied by 10 yet. So we have to do that next. So now if we go back and we work on that great pattern that we have created here, and if we're going to multiply by 10, everything's going to get shifted over to the left, to the column next to it. So multiply this by 10, and this is going to go into the hundred thousands. Multiply this by, multiply this by 10, and we're going into the 10,000s. Multiply by this by 10, and we're going into the thousands. Multiply this by 10, and we're going into the hundreds. Multiply this by 10, and we're going into the tens. And then there's nothing to place here, so we put a 0. So this is 273,050 is our new number, and that's our in standard form. But how many thousands are there? If we go back to that question, well, that comma is telling you there's the thousands point. So anything to the left of it, that's the number that we would put. 273 thousands. All right, 4-3, it's your time to see how much you've learned. I'd like you to do the same exact thing that we just did, but we're using 3 10,000s, 2,000s times 10. And then I want to know that you're going to put the standard form here, and then just tell me how many thousands that new number would be. Use the place value chart to help you. The next problem I'd like you to try is 24 10,000s plus 11,000s is equal to how much? You're going to need to use the place value chart to help you with this. And remember, don't actually do 24 place value discs. Use those lines to help you use them to group your tens together. Great work tonight, guys. We'll look forward to working you tomorrow on this. Have a great night.